If you like horror, hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and push that subscribe button now.
What's the boogeyman?
Hello, Sydney.
Welcome to my nightmare. We want the man who did this.
Welcome to Nick Push's Horror Channel.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday night. Happy Labor Day weekend, guys. Hope nobody's stuck at work right now and you're able to enjoy this nice long weekend like I'm trying to do. Clearly I was bored tonight, so I said fuck it. Let's go live. Let's talk some horror. I'm excited to just kind of randomly be able to do this. So yeah, anyone that's able to tune in, I appreciate it. Throw some questions in the chat for me. We got a lot of things going on in the horror world, and it's finally September, which means October is right around the corner, which is exciting, guys. And like I said, there's just a lot going on in the horror world right now. And not only do we have Halloween Ends coming out in less than 6 weeks, we have Scream 6, which just wrapped up filming, and then we got possibly a new Friday the 13th movie on the horizon. Way off probably in the horizon, but there's a lot going on. So hey, Shape 78, we got in the chat here, just another horror fan. What's up? My man Shane Emerson, what's going on, guys? Throw me some questions in the chat if you guys want me to talk about anything. Otherwise, I am just going to kind of wing it, guys. I got nothing planned. What the fuck? I'm sober for once on a Saturday night, so that's rare. Too much last night. Way too much last night. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, I'm sober and I'm here. So yeah. I did make a video the other day and I got some heat for it. And that's fine. That comes with the territory. But basically, with all this Halloween Ends ending, controversy, talk, whatever you want to call it, I basically, and maybe I overreacted a little bit. You know me, guys. I'm an emotional guy. I'm an emotional fan. Sometimes, I hear something and it pisses me off. Last year I made some videos on the flashback sequence. Where I was, ranting and raving a little bit. I was just being passionate. And they knocked the flashback sequence out of the park in Halloween Kills. I will say that. Okay? But yeah, I was a little passionate yesterday. Talking about remarks made by David Gordon Green that essentially state he's still tinkering with the ending, right? Talked to a few people. Had some more time to pass. And I still stand by what I said, where I am concerned with it, but I do understand that this isn't unprecedented. I know Darren reached out to me from the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast. Go sub to them if you haven't. I think it was Darren. It might have been Frank, but I think it was Darren. And he basically, said, hey, this kind of thing happens all the time. He's worked in the movie industry or the business for 20 years, and it's not unprecedented. So I'll take his word for it. I just think with the final movie of the franchise, I just thought they'd have an ending in place. Where they know where they want this franchise to end. They know where they want this trilogy to end of theirs, because they're not just picking up the last movie. This is the same team that has, essentially been doing this trilogy from the get-go. So you would think that they would have a plan on how you're going to end this, especially if they're ballsy enough to call the movie Halloween Ends, right? So that's just kind of why I am concerned. I understand it's a part of the business. I totally get that. But it's just weird to me. I find it fucking odd, and I just don't get it. So yeah, let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Shape 78 says, finally at month's end in Can't see. Fall is coming. Yep. I can't believe it. Summer just flew by here. Shane Emerson says, Nick, are you going to be watching the Hellraiser reboot next month? Is that next month already? Wow. Yes, I will check it out. I don't want to say I like the Hellraiser franchise. I like the first two movies. The first one is, I don't know if it's a classic. I'd probably put it the next tier below a classic, but I like it. I mean, it's very good. It's very creepy. I'm a big fan of Hellraiser 2. That's kind of when they knew what they had with Pinhead, and I like the hospital setting with Christie. Obviously, there's been some controversy regarding the new Hellraiser movie because Pinhead is now a woman. I don't know any of Clive Barker's source material or anything like that, but from what I'm told, Pinhead is either A, woman in the source material, or B, has no gender. I'm not bothered that Pinhead's a woman. I don't care. It doesn't seem to matter to me. It's all going to be in the execution on, what they do. I did see the look of the new Pinhead, and I thought she looks great. So yeah, I'm going to check it out. I don't know much about it as far as story or anything like that. I don't know if, this is kind of like a remake-ish type thing where, they're going to kind of remake the first movie. Because if you remember, the first movie is very different than the rest of the franchise. Very different. It's not really even like about Pinhead too much. It's more about Frank and whatever the chick's name is, leading men back up to that attic room and killing them so, Frank can get his skin back, I guess. But it's not like the rest of the franchise. So I am mildly curious what they're doing with the remake here. Let's see what else we got going on. Just another horror fan says, Chucky season 2, your thoughts? I have not watched an episode of the first season of Chucky. It's on my list. I know there's so much on my list. There's so many things on my list that I keep putting on my list, and instead of watching my list, I go back and watch the same old shit I've always watched. I got to get better about going to my list and using recommendations that you guys give me. But no, I haven't seen Chucky season 1 yet. From everything I've heard, it's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. Devin Saw is in there. I like him. So yeah, I can't really comment on Chucky season 2 because I haven't seen season 1. To be honest, I haven't even seen the last couple Child's Play or Chucky, whatever the hell they're called, movies in the franchise. So I don't know if I need to check those out. I don't know if it's Curse or Cult or whatever. I don't know if I need to watch those to know what's going on in the beginning of the TV series. Adam Howard says, what did you think of the newest Texas Chainsaw movie? I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Simple concept, obviously. I thought it was good. I thought Leatherface, the guy that played Leatherface, did a good job. Wasn't a huge fan of his look. Maybe just because he cut off the fresh skin for the face, and it obviously looks a little bit different than the original mask he had with the skin, because it wasn't aged or something like that. So I wasn't a huge fan of his look, but I thought it was a fun slasher movie. I had no complaints. I thought it kind of twisted some of the tropes around pretty well. For instance, the guy that they appeared was an asshole at the beginning. That hick guy ended up being a very great character. He went to go help them when he realized what was going on. I wish they went to kill them off like they did. But yeah, I thought it was good enough. I thought the ending was pretty shocking. It kind of caught me off guard, and I thought it was cool, and a kind of a cool homage to the ending of the original. So yeah, I thought it was good. Shape78, what's up, buddy? Says, did you see the news that Trick or Treat Studios is coming to theaters this October? Or sorry, Trick or Treat is coming to theaters this October. It went straight to video, so this is its theatrical debut. I did see that news. I did not know that it went straight to video and it's never been in theaters before. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check that out because that is a movie that's got great Halloween atmosphere, like seasonal atmosphere. Possibly one of the best movies ever as far as that goes. So yeah, it's kind of a staple for me every October now, ever since I first saw it. And I was a little late to the game. I only first saw it a few years ago. But I like that movie. I think it's great. Shane says, hopefully the Blumhouse trilogy doesn't pull a Star Wars sequel trilogy and not have an ending planned. That's where it seems to be going, my friend. That is where it seems to be going. Like I said, it's just odd. I get the Star Wars sequel, kind of. I get it as far as that they had Rian Johnson take over in the middle, and he might have, screwed some shit up a little bit. Might have is an understatement. But so I understand where they had, a couple different directors and a couple different visions, and that's why it got messed up. It's still bullshit because Disney's a billion-dollar franchise, obviously, and how could they let that happen to Star Wars of all things? But anyway, what I don't understand is David Gordon Green and Danny McBride have been doing this from the get-go as far as their plans for 2018. So it seems odd to me that they didn't have a plan for the ending. Shape of Four podcast, what's up, buddy boy? Says they had an extra year to figure this out. That's true, exactly. They did have that extra year. And they changed stuff, right? So they, obviously, as we all know, Halloween Ends was going to take place on the same night as Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. And during COVID, they changed their mind, okay? They wanted to do something, right? Do something different than they originally planned. No issues there, okay? Still thought it was odd at the time, but it happens, You get some extra time, you think something through, and you want to make a change, fine. But what about the ending? Why do you have to change the ending? Why do you not know the ending? And it could be something very minor, right? Like, we're all freaking out a little bit, thinking, I don't know, thinking, it's going to be something major. Maybe it's minor, but still, why would you not have it figured out? It's just odd to me. Shane says Pinhead does have no gender in the novel. Okay, thanks, Shane. Scott Royston, hey Scott, how you doing? Says, what is your take on Ends based on everything we've seen? Everything we've seen? Well, we haven't seen much. What we've seen is just basically the teaser trailer and a couple tidbits. I know we just got a photo the other day of Michael and some older lady, right? I think it's Michael, right? We don't know for a fact that it's Michael. It could be Corey. But what do I think based on that? I'll say this: I am still enjoying the fact that it's September and we have all these questions. I've made so many videos with different theories and all kinds of shit like that. I'm not doing it, just to, gotta make a YouTube video. I am enjoying the fact that we don't know. So it's fun to speculate. I'm having a great time with this speculation. By now, we would have had normally a couple trailers, all kinds of different shit, and, we'd know basically what the movie is going to be about. We don't know much, except for what we've seen, the little we've seen, and then that very odd kind of synopsis that dropped with the teaser trailer that mentioned Corey Cunningham and all that. So my thoughts are, it seems like it's going to be a different type of Halloween movie than we've seen, which isn't necessarily a bad thing at all, right? If we get the same old shit, we'd be complaining about that too, right? So it's not necessarily a bad thing that it's going to be different. It seems odd, the type of different it's going to be. So yeah, I'm withholding judgment so far, Scott, but those are kind of my thoughts that, right now I'm just kind of enjoying what we don't know, and the things we do know seem pretty weird to me. Let's see who's next here. We got Shane Emerson saying, have you seen the Jeepers Creepers films, and will you be seeing Jeepers Creepers Reborn next month? I have seen them. I think the original Jeepers Creepers is great. Not a huge fan of the sequels. And you know what? I'm not even going to fucking comment on the fact that I shouldn't... Fine, I'm going to comment on it. I shouldn't have to say that and defend myself for saying I like Jeepers Creepers because of the director's a piece of shit, right? It's pretty sad that we live in a world now where I almost have to say that because I'm going to, not you guys in the chat, but I'm going to get all kinds of comments saying, you know, the director diddled kids or something. I know I'm not talking about what he did in his spare time, right? I'm commenting on the movie. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first movie. Like I said, wasn't a huge fan of the sequels. I'll give Reborn a chance. We'll see. I don't know how much this franchise lends itself to some sequels. So yeah. What's up, Diamond Rattler? Let's see here. What else we got? David Santa Clara, what's up, David? Says 6 weeks to my big, beautiful Halloween ends. Yes, I can't believe it's that close. Let's see. Fitty Tucker, how you doing, buddy? All right, here we go. Shape 78. What is one thing you would change about the OG Halloween 78 movie? One thing I would change, besides, some of the, little minor flaws like Carpenter's cigarette smoke that you can see and stuff like that. Oh, you're putting me on the spot. One thing I would change would be something that you said to me in a message one time, Shape 78, and that was, correct me if I'm wrong, that was that Judith Myers wasn't Michael's sister, that she was his babysitter. And then it went to tie the franchise into the family dynamic. I still have to make a video on that. But that is probably what I would change. Not have Judith be Michael's sister, because then it would just open up the whole franchise for all sorts of different possibilities. That is a good question, though. I'm going to think about something else, something original. But yeah, that is a great question. Shape of Four Podcast says September 15th, Trick or Treat Studios will be unveiling their Halloween Ends products. That'll be interesting. That will be interesting, because I wonder if it'll give us any tidbits on the anything in the movie. Let's see what else we got. Just another horror fan says whatever they do to the ending, they've already shot, so it's not like they're doing reshoots again. It's already been thought about. That's true. That and that's a fair point, right? They're just talking about the editing process. So maybe they filmed a few different endings. That's what the rumors are. And they're deciding on one of them. Maybe it's just some type of editing that they're trying to do. I can't believe the ending of their trilogy is 6 weeks away and they're still tinkering with it. But like I said earlier, maybe it's more common than we think. So yeah, that's a good point, that they're not actually doing reshoots. I guess they already did reshoots, obviously, in June. I wonder if that's what was going on back in June when they were doing the reshoots. It's possible. Let's see. Fitty Tucker says, wish they would remake Clown House. Clown House? I have never heard of Clown House. I don't like clowns. So that's probably not the movie for me. But maybe it is. Maybe it's scary. But yeah, I have never heard of that. If you're saying that you wish they would remake it, I'm guessing it's like an early 80s movie in the slasher craze and all that. But I will probably IMDb that at some point here in the near future, because you've piqued my curiosity, my friend. Let's see here. Just another horror fan says, now if he said it's being changed every day and then they go out for reshoots every time, then I'd be worried. Yeah, then I'd be very worried. Let's see here. Shape 78 says, two good horror flicks I recently saw are Watcher and Moloch. Have you seen either? I have not. Are they good? Shape 78? Are those any good? It's interesting. I kind of like I said earlier, there's so much stuff I gotta watch, and I keep watching the same old shit, or just going through Hulu and Netflix and all that, and just going to their horror department, and occasionally a newer movie I'll see and I'll check out. Like I just watched probably the most recent new movie that I've seen is Prey on, I think it was Hulu. Very much enjoyed that. The most recent movie I've seen in the theater is The Black Phone. I forgot to take advantage of AMC's $3 movie day today. But yeah, so I usually end up going through Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon, Shudder, whatever, and just finding some older horror movie. I rewatched Christine the other day in preparation of some ends videos I want to make. One movie I saw the other day for the first time watch was Prince of Darkness. I really enjoyed that. I hadn't seen it yet. It's kind of a weird Carpenter flip. I feel like all Carpenter movies are kind of weird. Carpenter's an interesting director. He's got a lot of odd movies. Like They Live, which is probably more relevant today than it was in the late 80s. But Carpenter's he's got like all his movies are very campy in a certain way. And that there's a lot of charm to that. So I personally like it because I like Carpenter's style and things like that. But I could see how somebody might not like, a lot of Carpenter movies. Obviously, Halloween and The Thing for, most are right up there. I'm also a big fan of the Fog. Like I said, Prince of Darkness I just saw for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. Another Donald Pleasance movie. But yeah, other Carpenter movies that I like would be, I feel like I'm missing one. Christine, I love Christine too. That is so good. So yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Scott Royston says Clown House was also a Victor Sylvia movie or film in the mid 80s. Okay. Let's see. Shape 78 says Watcher has Hitchcock vibes and is good. Malik is folk horror and really good. Interesting. I'll have to look for those. Shane Emerson says, did you watch X and will you be seeing a prequel coming out in a few weeks? I have not seen X. I know what it is, know what it's about. It's like is it a porn film from the 70s? Or it's not a porn film, but it's a horror movie about like a porn production, I think, in the 70s. Haven't seen it. Probably should. I've heard good things. I know a lot of people are really enjoyed it. But I haven't seen it yet. I will check it out though. And I did not know they were making a prequel to it. That's interesting. That happened pretty quick. Fitty Tucker says, I think he's talking about Clown House, says mental patients escape and kill clowns at a circus, then dress up as them and go after kids. Crazy. Scared me when I was young. Interesting. That is kind of a cool premise. It does sound a little creepy. That would be a good movie ripe for a remake. Shape 78 says love Prince of Darkness. Carpenter said he was inspired by Argento for that one. Yes, you are correct. Shane Emerson says, Nick, do you have a favorite horror director that doesn't get much recognition? That is a good question, Shane. I will have to think about that one. Off the top of my head, I would say, God, favorite horror director that doesn't get much recognition. The only ones I keep thinking of are people that get recognition. Probably, if you're talking recent, it doesn't even have to be recent, but the one that I think James Wan is a fucking genius when it comes to building tension and horror, but he obviously gets a lot of attention. Carpenter, Craven, those guys obviously get a lot of attention. I'm gonna have to come back to that one because you caught me off guard. Drake Plays says, something I would love to see is the alternate ending of 2018. Excuse me. Where Michael and Laurie battle it out in their front yard and Michael gets shot by a crossbow. Yes, I would like to see that too. I was not a big fan of the ending of 2018. It just kind of, it didn't seem like an ending. It just kind of ended abruptly. So, so yeah, I would have liked to see how that was executed, especially the Laurie getting shot with a crossbow part. But they just had a battle, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Laurie died in the original ending. So that could have been better. But obviously, she could die in Halloween Ends. So we'll see. Let's see here. T West shot X and then secretly shot its prequel during production. Really interesting. You don't hear about stuff like that too often. About kind of secretly shooting a film during the production. You hear about things being filmed back to back once in a while, like they were originally, I believe, going to do with Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, or whatever the working title of Halloween Kills was at the time. They did it with Back to the Future 2 and 3. But yeah, you don't hear about anyone really secretly filming a prequel during production of the actual movie. That's fascinating. So what does he do? Like pull some of the actors aside and when they're not shooting and start shooting other shit? That's interesting. What else is on your guys' list to watch this weekend? Anything? Got an itch here. Anything fun? Anything you haven't seen? We got a little bit of extra time here with Labor Day. Oh, Shape78 says, are you going to see Jaws 75 in 3D this weekend? I need to. Thank you for reminding me, buddy. I need to check and see if any of my local theaters have it. I have never seen Jaws on the big screen. Certainly never seen it in 3D. But I've never seen Jaws on the big screen. I feel like I have to. I saw Halloween 78 on the big screen maybe 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, and that was an amazing experience because you see it so many times, you know everything about it, and then it's on the big screen and it's the same movie, but it's just magical experience. But yeah, Jaws is another one. Jaws is in my top 5 movies of all time, just like Halloween. So I feel like I'm gonna have to try to check that out because that sounds amazing. I wonder how the 3D is working with that. I wonder how much money they had to pay to convert some of the films to 3D, or if they even had to. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I assume that there is some cost involved with that. So I'm interested how they would do that. Number one, and yeah, I definitely need to see Jaws on the big screen. Fitty Tucker says, I'll be watching The Thing and They Live. Oh, a Carpenter weekend, huh? God, The Thing is so good, man. You guys know me. I'm a Halloween guy, obviously, but The Thing might be even better than Halloween. It's tomato, right? They're both fucking amazing films. The Thing is just such a masterclass in, just like paranoia and things like that. So I that's another movie I'd love to see on the big screen. That'd be great. I usually will watch The Thing in like December or January when it's cold. That's what I try to do. But yeah, I just watched They Live again maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Like I said, it's kind of a odd film. It's more relevant today probably, but I love that movie too. That fight sequence in the alley is just ridiculous. It goes on forever between Rowdy Piper and Keith David. But yeah, The Thing, awesome. They Live, great movies. Shane Emerson says Tom Holland made some great horror movies as a director, like Child's Play and Fright Night, and wrote some great others like Psycho 2. Yes, Tom Holland is good. The original Child's Play is so much different than the rest of the franchise. But yeah, Tom Holland did a great job on that. Fright Night is a cult classic. I will agree with that. And Psycho 2. Do not sleep on Psycho 2, guys. Psycho 2 is a fantastic movie. It has no business being as good as it is because it was made all these years later. But it's really, really, really good. Shane Emerson says, I could spend hours and hours and hours talking about The Thing. Yeah, me too, man. It's fascinating that there's no women in that movie. Really couldn't get away with that today, which is a good thing. But it for the movie, The Thing is, you're not really paying attention to the fact that, you know, they're all guys, and a little bit of the fact that they're all guys, you know, it helps the movie, because, you know, nobody trusts each other. You don't have to worry about, you know, seeing some scene where two of the male characters or whatever are obsessed with the female character, or there's love interest, you know. Fuck that shit. It's a man's movie. It's like Predator, right? It's a man's movie about, you know, men battling this alien force. You know, you could make the same movie with females, and it also would be an awesome movie. So it's just interesting that, you know, I find it interesting that you don't really think about the gender of the characters when you're watching it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I love The Thing. The winter setting is great. You know, every time you see a flamethrower, you think of The Thing. It is just a fantastic movie. And it's basically Carpenter. You know, Carpenter got a budget finally for a movie. Carpenter got a budget and knocked it out of the park. Except nobody appreciated it at the time. I like the story I heard him telling a long while back, about the reason The Thing failed. And because obviously, as you know, E.T. came out, you know, right around the same time as The Thing. E.T. is also about an alien, and it's a family-friendly alien. You know, he's eating Reese's Pieces, and, you know, E.T.'s great, by the way, too. But E.T. is such a, you know, family-friendly movie about an alien. I remember, so Carpenter was telling some story, and I'm paraphrasing here, but Carpenter was telling a story where he got off an airplane, saw a billboard for Steven Spielberg's E.T., and turned to the guy next to him and said, yeah, we're fucked. So I like that he kind of had the foresight to realize that. But I think Carpenter really never forgave studios or you know, critics or whatever. He never really forgave them for not appreciating what he did with The Thing. And he was kind of never the same after that. I feel like after that is when he really stepped into the campy B-type movies that he became famous for. So it would have been interesting to see what he did after The Thing, if The Thing was appreciated for the masterpiece that it was. Speaking of The Thing, the Shape 78 says, watched The Thing recently on big screen. Took my family who had never seen it. It was awesome. I agree, Nick. Love Halloween, but The Thing is a better overall movie. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. You know, Halloween was my favorite Carpenter movie, but I think The Thing is, you know, his best movie. And there are reasons for that. You know, a little more experience. It's just a different type of movie. Like I said, he finally got a budget. So yeah, he knocked it out of the park with The Thing, and I wish it would have got its due back in the day. Let's see. Drake says, Randa, but I want to see a Slender Man movie with actual effort and good story thought put into it. Yeah, that's a creepy. Slender Man's a creepy character, very creepy character. I actually lived up until relatively recently. I don't know if you guys saw, there was a story about these two girls, I think they were like in middle school, that killed a few people, and they blamed like the Slender Man, not the movie, but the Slender Man, like it was like a YouTube short or something like that. But I lived right where that happened, pretty close to where that happened. It was big news there. I don't know how big it was nationally, but it was a big deal. And every time someone mentions Slender Man, that's what I think of, is those two middle school girls that that killed someone or killed a couple people and tried blaming the Slender Man shit on it. So yeah, I always find that interesting. Fiddy Tucker says, anyone a fan of Dreamcatcher? I haven't seen it, so I am not, but maybe if I see it, I will be. Scott Ryson says Psycho 2 was awesome, loved Meg Tilly. Yes, Meg Tilly is fantastic in there. Shane says, I wrote a paper last year while the thing failed on why the thing failed at the box office and critically. Got 100%. Nice job, dude, on the 100%. Dude, I would love to read that paper, Shane. Should send that to me if you don't mind. If you don't mind, obviously, you know, it's your work, and there might be reasons you don't want to share it. Maybe I'll read it on my channel and rip you a new one. Kidding, buddy. But no, that's awesome. Halloween verse in the house says the Slender Man movie was a mess. Yeah, the movie was a joke. I assume that is Gary. So what's up, buddy? Shane says, creepy story. My uncle was classmates with the kid who William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist was inspired by, based on. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Scott Royston says, still waiting for a Christine remake. Yeah, I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. They probably will at some point, just because technology, you know, you could do a lot of things with Christine based on technology. But why? It's so good. Christine is so good, you know. I can't believe the things they do in Christine with practical effects. You know, especially like the stuff like with the car rebuilding itself. You know, stuff like that. You know, obviously they could digitally do it and make it look pretty decent, right? It'd be cool. But it's cool seeing the car be put back together with movie magic. That's all it is, guys. It's movie magic. And you just see a car being put back together. And, you know, like, I don't know if they do it, you know, where they reverse it and then play it backwards or what. But it's really cool how they accomplished that. But yeah, I just think Christine is just so Carpenter-ish that they wouldn't be able to recreate it. Like, you know, the score to Christine is great. So many good aspects of Carpenter are in that movie. I don't know. The acting is a product of its time. You know, I think it came out in '82. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a product of its time. You know, a lower-ish. I think it was low budget, but I think it was like a lower-ish budget movie. But yeah. Fitty Tucker says, be hard to find enough 58 Plymouth Furies. Yeah, no kidding. But maybe they could do it with, some 80s car. You know, maybe a DeLorean, you know. That's it, guys. Christine and Back to the Future in the same universe. But no, I would assume they'd probably do it with, you know, maybe a more recent car. But yeah, I thought everything, there's so many creepy things in Christine. The thing that stands out to me the most is when Arnie and I can't remember the chick's name, but they're at the drive-in and he's outside the car and she is in there, and you know, she's, you know, talking shit about the car all the time. She knows he's obsessed with it, etc. And all of a sudden he's out there and all of a sudden the headlights go on so he can't see, the car doors lock, and the music turns on and she starts choking, and he can't get the car open. I thought that was creepy as fuck. I still think it's creepy when I see it, you know. It's just so well done. Carpenter's he was just so good at that. So yeah. Gary says, Your Mine playing on the radio as his girlfriend is choking in the car was perfect. Yes, that's right, Your Mine. I thought it was great, and you know, the headlights are on. You know, I think it's raining. Just the atmosphere of that scene is absolutely fantastic. Drake says, so Nick, do you really think that Corey will find Michael and nurse him back to health? I just can't see Michael Myers letting some random kid bandage him up. I don't know if he'll nurse him back to health. Okay, kind of like Christine, right? I got it now. It took me a second here. But I don't know if he'll nurse him back to health. But maybe there's something like that. Maybe it's a Halloween 5 situation I've heard mentioned, that, Michael's just, lying there for a year. Oh, God, I hope not. In this case, it'd be 4 years, right? But maybe it's something like that. I think more likely it is this kid is, either obsessed with Myers, or maybe he accidentally, because at the beginning of the synopsis it says, while a kid dies while Corey's babysitting, right? So maybe Corey, well, first of all, Corey, you need to get a real job besides babysitting. I'm kidding, anyone that's watching, I'm kidding. But I used to babysit. Not in high school though. But yeah, maybe Corey accidentally makes a mistake and a kid dies, right? And he needs to cover it up, right? And he uses, the legend or, the status of Michael Myers to put the blame on that to get himself off, right? And then so maybe there's some type of I don't know if you want to call it symbolism or something like that, but maybe him nursing Myers back to health is nursing Myers' reputation back to health. And he accidentally kills someone, blames Myers, brings back the fear of Myers again, and then Myers appears. Or maybe Corey gets a taste of killing and wants to keep doing it, so he starts dressing up as Myers, and that brings Myers back. Who knows? The fact that we're having a conversation like this is fucking weird, guys. It is really, really weird. Yeah, I don't. God, I can't wait. I can't wait to fucking find out what actually happens in this movie, especially like the weird shit, like the Corey Cunningham shit. Like, I don't see a scenario, even if it's well done, and it could be well done, guys. You guys probably think I'm flip flopping all the time, but I keep trying to be positive. But then the more I think about something, I'm like, what? And the main thing, the Corey Cunningham shit is just so weird. It's just so weird. Then again, we've had weird shit in this franchise before, right? We've had, Paul Rudd and Magic Stones. We've had... This is one thing we probably won't get. We probably won't get Michael randomly fucking his niece, right? So, there's that. But yeah, I'm just weirded out because they say it's going to be more, intimate Halloween movie. Then they're throwing weird shit in, It's like, okay, fucking weird. But yeah, I don't see him nursing Michael back to health, but I could be wrong because I didn't see them having a copycat killer. I didn't see a lot of things that I've heard from this production. So the good news is we will see in 6 weeks or so. I'm going to go maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, guys. Keep getting questions. I'll keep going, but I'm starting to get tired here. Been a long day, but I am still going here, guys. Really appreciate you guys keeping the chat lively. It helps. Let's see what else is going on here. Shane says, on paper, Halloween Ends being similar to Christine could really be cool, and with seeing a character be transformed by the evil around him. Yeah, that would be an interesting way that they could take the movie and have the Christine aspect in there. I just don't think that's what they're doing. Like, what you're saying, Shane, I agree, is interesting, and there could be a fascinating part to it. I just don't think that's what they're doing, unfortunately. Gary, aka Halloweenverse, says, haha, nursing Michael back to health a la the hobo from Halloween 5. Yep. Maybe Corey has a parrot. What's that parrot's name again? Like Tuki or something like that? God. And as we know, Halloween 5 is a great movie too, right? Jesus Christ. Scott Royson says, I actually heard what happens with Corey's story. I don't know if that's actually a spoiler, Scott. So if it is, I'm not going to read it. But it's cool. If you do know, hey, that more power to you. That's cool. I just I'm not going to read it just in the off chance that it's a spoiler. Drake says Michael will shout "die" as he kills Corey, no doubt. Yes, God. Fucking ridiculous, man. Let's see here. Shane says, not to get off topic, but I just watched The Batman again the other day. It just keeps getting better and better. Still only seen it once. Saw it in the theater opening weekend. Fucking loved it too, man. I absolutely loved that movie. there's so much to love about it. The thing that always jumps out at me about the Batman was right away in the beginning. You know, they kind of set the tone and the mood of the movie with all these night shots, right? And someone doing illegal activity, whether it's, you know, robbing someone or stealing from a convenience store or anything like that. So they're showing the criminals, right, kind of in their element outside, and then the bat signal goes up, and it's almost like the Batman, you know, is Myers. You know, he's like the boogeyman. The criminal underworld is just fucking terrified, absolutely terrified of him, and I thought that was just well done. It showed where the Batman was in his journey, and then obviously that went hand in hand with his character arc and what he learned at the end of the movie when he starts, you know, helping people instead of just trying to take out the bad guy. He realizes he needs to save souls. He needs to help people. He needs to let the people of Gotham know that, you know, that there is hope. And I thought that was a great character arc. I can't wait to see what they're doing with the next one. I hope they don't use the Joker yet. Save it. And we've gotten so many Joker movies, guys. So many Batman movies with the Joker as the villain. A lot of them good. You know, the Joker is a classic villain for a reason. But there's a lot of other villains, and I'm not a comic book guy, guys, but there's a lot of other villains in the Batman universe that would be very interesting, especially with this new version of Batman. So I hope they don't go Joker out. I know they teased it, but I would just not go there quite yet. I would wait, you know, if they're doing a trilogy, maybe end the trilogy with him. They're going to do the Joker at some point, I'll tell you that, because it's a fucking cash grab, right? The Joker sells probably just as much, or if not more, than the Batman. So yeah. Diamond Rattler says, I've read spoilers on Reddit on ends, and if those are true, I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, I haven't read any spoilers. I haven't read any of that, but I know people have said similar things to me. And yeah, no, not too many. I haven't heard anyone say, "Hey, I read spoilers for this movie. It sounds awesome." But that's just the nature of the world we live in today, too. You know, people aren't gonna, for the most part, people aren't gonna, you know, talk about the awesome stuff. They're gonna talk about the shitty stuff or the things they don't like. You know, look at the fucking news. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, the news is essentially turned into, I could really go on a tangent here, but the news is essentially turned into, you know, just totally political, all bullshit. You know, you're watching whatever news station you're watching, you know, you hear it and it's like, okay, what's their agenda? It's fucking sickening. The news is basically, you know, social media with professionals that are not being professional and doing their goddamn job. See, there's my tangent. I better stop before I really go off and, you know, get canceled here. Not that I give a fuck. But anyway, Shane Emerson says, Matt Reeves basically said he's not using the Joker in the Batman 2. Okay, good. Let's see. Shane Emerson says, have you read Batman The Long Halloween, Nick? No, I have not. But I heard it's really good, and I heard that that's kind of what they kind of based the Batman on. I stand to be corrected on that. Gary says, push if you want all the spoilers for ends, hit me up. I know the full story. Oh, Gary, don't tempt me, man. I'm 6 weeks away, dude. I'm 6 weeks away, and you're telling me I can just message you and you can give it to me? I hate you, Gary. I'm just kidding. But no, thanks, buddy. I may be reaching out. I'm gonna tell you what, Gary. If I reach out to you, I'm gonna need to do it twice. Don't give it to me the first time because I'm gonna regret it. Okay. So yeah. Fitty Tucker says, I haven't read any spoilers. I'm trying to stay away from it, but I'm worried with all the negativity surrounding it. Hope they're wrong. Yeah, me too. We'll see though. That, like I said, we're 6 weeks away. It's coming quick. It is exciting. I'm excited to actually start making videos on the actual movie, not on, you know, speculation or what I think's going to happen or, you know, what I think Corey Cunningham is going to be doing and all that shit. So yeah, couple more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to get out of here and go to bed. I have a long night of sleeping ahead of me. I had too much to drink last night. So a little out of it. That's why I look like shit right now. But like I said, I wanted to just come on tonight and just talk some horror because I was bored and, you know, felt more productive than going out tonight. And it's a long weekend, so we got an extra night. So I figured, why not? I always enjoy, you know, doing live streams. It's fun, especially with an active chat like you guys have been tonight. Shane says, I think you're talking about The Long Halloween. Says he highly recommend it. Great detective story. Reeves took several elements from the series for the Batman, but it's just an incredible read for October, for Batman and Halloween fans. Yeah, that's a good point, especially with October coming up. I'd like to check it out. But yeah, guys, that's about it for me tonight. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This was fucking random. I know it. Try to do this a little bit more. Sometimes, you know, life happens, you get busy. But I really appreciate you guys being lively in the chat. You guys keep me going. You keep me wanting to make videos. You keep me wanting to make live streams. And I appreciate it. So thanks, guys. And I will see you guys on the next